The BTCC stands for British Touring Car Championship, which is a motor racing series that has been around since 1958. Now recently I thought, why is this sport not as popular as it once was? Have people even heard of it?
No.
No, sorry.
No, I haven't.
No idea, sorry.
Stay tuned as I want to find out what people like, don't like, and how to improve it.
I used to follow it very closely, but it's probably the last few years I haven't watched it every race.
You sound exactly like me.
Okay, so we're here at Donington Park. This is the ceremony day for the British Touring Car Championships, and look, we've got testing going on, there's lots of noise, but what are we going to do today, Ollie?
Well, today's going to be pretty exciting because we are guests of the Power Max racing team, which is pretty exciting. We're going to go for a little pit lane walkabout, talk to some drivers. I think we have got Aaron Taylor-Smith, which will be absolutely wicked, to chat to him, see how he's finding the car this year. So let's get on with it, I'm excited.
Before we do interview the drivers, let's rewind just for a moment. We wanted to ask a section of people what they thought of the sport. Have you heard of the British Touring Cars?
Oh yeah.
Basically, we've got an opportunity to chat to some of the drivers tomorrow, and we're trying to find, from car avid enthusiasts like yourself, what would you ask a racing driver? What kind of question?
That's hard to know. Well, you always want to know how they got there.
Okay, so how they got there. And do you have a favourite? Do you watch the British Touring Cars?
Well, Colin Turkington's sort of local.
Yeah, okay,
does, so
yeah.
He's probably the one you keep an eye on most to see. So he has been successful, obviously. So it's been I used to follow it very closely, but it's probably the last few years I haven't watched it every race.
You sound exactly like me. Well, have you heard of the British Touring Car Championship though? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Have you heard of the British Touring Car Championship?
I have.
You have? Oh, awesome.
I've talked to.
No, that's okay. Are you? What car do you drive?
I'm driving Mercedes.
Mercedes. All right. I'll let you go. I can see you're on the way. Very fast. He did hear about the sport and he drives Mercedes. Excuse me, guys. I haven't had many people hear about the sport British Touring Car Championship. Have you heard of it?
No, sorry.
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of the British Touring Car Championship at all?
Yeah.
Are you have? Oh my goodness.
BTCC.
Awesome. Do you watch it at the moment?
I ain't watching it a couple of years, just watching my dad, but I ain't watching it.
Yeah, no, me too. We're trying to wonder, why is that? Why do you think
I think maybe F1's took over quite a lot.
That's fair. A lot of people love F1.
I don't watch that either, but I think British touring car gets pushed down quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's not really up there.
What do you think they could do to make you more interested to get involved, like to start watching it again?
Don't know. I think social media plays a lot of it.
Yeah,
I don't think they're really active on social media compared
So
to like, most companies.
this season, it's interesting you said that actually, because they're streaming all of their races on TikTok. You think I think that's a good idea? I guess they're trying to get the younger audience.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, bring people in, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What would you ask a touring car driver? What sort of question would you ask him?
How much money they make?
Yeah, that's a good one. How much
money
money? Apparently they earn like from anywhere up to like 200k. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking to people about the British Touring Car Championship, but I feel as if there is a general lack of interest in the sport. Let's speak to a couple of drivers and see what they think. You've done this a few times now. You're
a bit. I would say I'm like a bad smell. I've just been around, you know.
A bad smell.
Yeah.
So how many seasons now is it in British Touring Car?
This will be my 10th season, which is crazy because like I started this, it was a childhood dream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
never would have thought that we'd still be hanging around trying to win races. So it's been a journey, but I've loved every second of it, as you can imagine.
You're quite tall as well for a
yeah. I think maybe I'm 6 foot. I don't know. Maybe I should go
just round it up.
Yeah. Maybe it sounds better. Once you break that 6 foot barrier, no one cares.
That's what I say. I'm like 5'11", but I'd say
on
yes.
a good day, I'd say 6.
Yeah. So we spoke to a few people of the general public yesterday about have they heard of the British Touring Cars, and a lot of them said they had, some said they hadn't, and ones that said they had said they don't really watch it anymore. How would you entice like new viewers to come back and watch?
So I think for me, like the touring cars is probably it's getting towards its pinnacle again. You know, and I think like I've learned that I have no interest in motorsport unless I'm driving. So I don't watch Formula One, don't watch anything. But touring cars, because we crash into each other, because it's pretty intense, it's a good day out, you know. And I think for people to come along, like you don't actually have to be interested in the sport.
Yeah.
It's 3 races in a day. They're so high octane. It's all guns blazing from start to finish.
I love that. You get three for one, don't you?
Exactly.
So
it's a great weekend, really, But race day on ITV, the coverage is like exceptional.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good, if you have any kind of an interest in the sport at all, I would say it's the best form of motorsport to watch. So I think it's
I need to get you selling it. You
I don't know.
You got the spiel.
That's the problem.
How, for those that don't know about the sport, how would you say the difference is? Because they've got a Vauxhall Astra in there. For most people looking at that, Vauxhall Astra.
Yeah, you drive down to your local Tesco. It starts life with a Vauxhall, and I know like the roll cage unit alone takes 1,000 hours of hand welding.
Wow,
so
1,000 hours.
The only component that we can take off a road-going car without heavy modification are the wing mirror covers.
Yeah.
Everything else from being acid dipped to being lightened, strengthened, improved, it's all done with performance in mind. So even the aero, when you look at that car, it looks like it has big flared arches, like it's done for style, but it's all done for aerodynamics.
So does aero play a huge part? So what's the speeds we're looking at? Top speeds?
So at Thruxton, I think we get to 150 odd mile an hour. That's the fastest track in the UK.
What's that like? What's that feel?
Do you know, like when the cars, they're really uncomfortable to drive slow. Like,
okay.
It's actually, if a general Joe Bloggs from the public jumped in it to drive it out of the pits, it feels awful. The clutches are short, everything's jolty, it's real noisy.
Like, get me out.
It is. It's really like, it almost gives you motion sickness. But when it's actually like flat out, it's like super calm. Like super, you just get used to it.
Super calm, comfy.
So you don't notice. Like I think the speed, it almost becomes like a second nature. You don't really feel it. I know that sounds bizarre. Like the faster you're going, the easier it is.
I love that. Do you have a favourite memory around a specific track?
Do you know, it's always hard. Like I think you're always going to remember your first win in the touring cars. So obviously when I won at Brands GP, it was quite cool. And we've continued to have a lot of wins, a lot of podiums, and always been in that mix. So if I have a good memory for most tracks because we've had some success at it. I have a bad memory for most tracks because I've been in a crash at nearly every track, I'd say as well.
Yeah.
So it's good and bad, but I think what you learn about the touring cars are some weekends go your way, some weekends don't. A track that you may necessarily not enjoy could be a really strong one, just because of how the weekend falls, and I think that's what makes touring cars touring cars.
And what is your favourite track?
So I base tracks on local amenities, so the best places to get food.
This is brilliant, I like that.
I would say Brands is good in that sense, because you can go to Blue Water and there's everything there.
There you go.
So yeah, if I was going to a track to watch, I would say Brands, because at least you can have a nice dinner on Saturday night.
And it's the same to drive, you still love Brands driving?
Yeah, I do. Listen, I don't really care. Like, no, I like Brands. Brands is a good track, but it's a nice place for dinner afterwards. So that's always a massive win for me. But there's a few very good tracks. Like Silverstone always gets a huge draw because everyone wants to go to the home British Motorsport.
That's what I'm from, Silverstone.
Yeah. It's great. It's great racing around there. And it's one of those circuits that everyone comes to. We always have hundreds of people there. So it's hundreds of people just for me, but then 20, 30, 50 odd thousand people spectating. So it's amazing to be a part of.
Good atmosphere, I love it.
It is.
So realistically, end of the season, where do you think you'd like to come?
I think we have to have our eyes firmly set on the Independence Championship. I'd like to win that. And then where that leaves us overall, I don't know. We're going to let these squeeze through with some tyres. I think if we're in the mix for race wins from the get-go, I'll be really happy. And I believe we can be from what we've seen in pre-season testing. So, go out, put on a show one way or another. So, for those that don't watch it, they should watch ITV. And I'll actually...
Or TikTok.
TikTok's quite cool. Yeah, I think that would be a cool place to watch it. We'll get some of the youngsters watching it. And people that are far cooler than I am on TikTok.
After watching the cars do their thing on the track, we had some more chats with the general public and explored the pits and the rest of Donington Park. And then Adam and I found a bench to sit down and summarise what we have found out so far.
Okay, so let's reconvene. What have we found out so far?
We found out that Aaron Taylor-Smith is an absolute lad. I would have a drink with him. He's so much fun.
He was funny.
A racing driver that hates cars.
Yeah, it's a weird combo. But yeah, the pit's really small area. So and they're all really busy in there. We really wanted to get some like clean shots of the cars.
We couldn't get clean shots.
It's a bit. There's a lot going on in there. So
they probably hated me just running around going, "Oh, show me this bit of the car.
I feel like it's a really good thing about touring cars that the public can go in and out the pits and get involved with the cars, and it's a bit more of like a better experience for the public. I don't know. Have you learned much about touring cars? Do you reckon?
More so about like the drivers. Like the two drivers we chatted to today, but I wouldn't say I've learned loads more, like why we should watch it as such. Like they're road cars that we'd find on the UK. I get it. That it's close racing.
I quite like that it's all on UK circuits. And I like that there's a lot of races that you can watch, but can that get just a bit too much? You know, do you know what I mean? Like 3 races in one is a bit too much. But
then you get like what Aaron was saying, you get like 3 for 1, whereas some like race days, if you just do race day, like in Formula 1, you just get the race, which is obviously the main thing, but at least you get 3 races, you might have three different winners.
Yeah, but I feel like that's too much, because I feel like if you have one... Okay, my personal opinion of how the touring car racing people can make a bigger audience, bring more people in.
Go on then.
Drama. They just need more drama. Netflix, come on in. Do a touring car racing drama like Drive to Survive.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something like ejector seat.
No.
Or something like some sort of weapons.
I don't really see like any crashes. I don't really see. Like, I want to see more of that. I want to see some like fights with the teams.
You want to see some crashes?
I just want to see it more competitive and more dramatised, and then I think people will watch it.
What do you think? Touring cars for you?
Yeah, I think personally I'm actually going to keep an eye on it this year.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's near the pinnacle of what it used to be.
He did say that.
He
Aaron
did
Taylor
say
Smith.
that. That's a quote from Aaron. So I'm going to give it a go.
We're here with Adam Weaver, team principal of Power Max Racing. Thank you for giving us some time today.
No problem.
First of all, how you ready for the season? Everything good?
Very ready. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Fantastic. How are we running today? Because we did some testing. You where you want to be with the cars?
Yeah. I mean, what we're doing is definitely testing.
Yeah.
So a few of the other teams are running soft tyres, which will allow you to get a much better lap time from the car.
Yeah.
However, we don't use soft tyres when we come to Donington to actually race. So
A bit of sandbagging and a bit of strategic.
Yeah, showboating. It's
okay.
Yeah, so there's a few people, let's say, with times that are not really reflective of probably where they would be on the right tyres. So we're very happy with what we're doing. You know, we are testing components on the car. We're trying things. We're trying to find genuine time within the car. So
I get that. Okay, that's fair. Now, we did a little piece to General Public yesterday because people have heard of British Touring Car Championship, but a lot of them don't watch it. There seems to be a bit of love lost because I used to love it, and if I'm being honest, I haven't watched it for a while. I'm into Formula 1, we like a bit of Formula E. What do you think you can do to entice more people to watch British touring cars? I mean, it's still the most popular Britain.
Probably
motorsport.
get rid of about 300 channels off the television. I mean, you know, obviously back in the day when everybody watched BTCC, there was 3, maybe 4 channels to choose from. You know, that always is going to help. But you know, there's so much choice out there of things to do and watch these days that it's always going to be a battle. But I think that, you know, the viewing figures are strong. You know, we're getting 45, 50,000 people to trackside events, which is strong numbers. You know, we're talking Premiership football level kind of attraction for a game. You know, there's millions of people watch it and tune in and watch it worldwide. This year, they're actually streaming the qualifying and all the races on TikTok.
That's right. That's
which
a good
is
move, right?
massive coup really for the championship. No other sport is doing that currently. You know, that opens us up to probably 25, 26 million.
And when it's free,
TikTok
right?
users.
When it's free, because you know how many people TikTok. I mean, I don't know if you use TikTok much. Or...
Not really, but I've got 3 kids.
Well, there you go.
Know,
that's the answer.
And so I understand. You know, 3 years ago we moved house, and I didn't even bother having aerials put in my kids' bedroom, and I thought I'd see how long it took for them to shout down, "Dad, I can't get ITV." And not once have they ever shouted down because they watch online. Everything's online. It's all on catch up and iPlayers and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So they've not even noticed. So you know, it's great that the championship's moving with the times and adopting some modern platforms basically.
That's decent. So realistically, but when season's over, where would you like to come?
Well, obviously first.
I love that. No, I love that.
I mean, that's what we're here for. No, You know, I don't think anybody's here to just make up the numbers. We're certainly not. So, you know, I'll be disappointed this year if we don't have a race win. I mean, we came very close several times last year with a couple of seconds and quite a few more thirds.
And Mikey got a podium on one, didn't he?
So, Andrew got a couple of podiums. Mikey had a podium at Silverstone. We also had a second place at Silverstone with Aaron. You know, I want to go one better.
So
we want another win, basically. So, plenty of podiums and another win. I'd really like to just be in contention come to the last round. I don't care if it's, you know, 6 people within a chance of winning the championship. You know, even if mathematically the other 5 have got to crash and not finish the race, as long as we're still somewhere very close
amongst it.
Yeah, you know, you want the like football, you want the championship to go down to the last day. You know, we want to be in it on the last day with a chance of winning. You know.
No, that's good. Well, I hope it goes well for you. How long have you been sort of a team principal?
So I've owned the team for this will be my 9th year in the championship. Previously to that, we've been title sponsor to a team for a couple of years and was involved in teams before that. So I've been sort of in and around the championship now probably 12, 13, maybe 14 years. So.
And still loving it. You're excited to wake up every morning.
It's stressful. I don't know about wake up every morning. I'd like to stay in bed a little longer, but you know, it's about the people, and you know, the fans are fantastic, the team are fantastic. You know, it's nice to fight towards something that you want, really.
With someone asking you then, how do you get an edge over another team? Is it down to the aero? Is it down to the engine? What's the biggest sort of differential?
It's everything. You know,
is it more towards the man in the car? Or?
I mean, obviously the guy in the seat has a big impact on there, but you know, they can only do so much. You know, if you put the best guy here in the worst car, he's not going to win races.
Right.
So it's about, you know, it's more likely to be hundreds of things with fractions of a second to create a tenth of a second. You know, it's very unlikely that you'll find one single thing on the car that will propel you to the front of the grid. You know, it's kind of repetition, lots and lots of tiny gains that add up to make a decent gain overall. So.
What type of technologies do you use to help your driver's performance? Do you do a lot of sim racing?
So the guys take responsibility for that themselves. They do a lot of simulator work. Both of them are very, very hot on their simulator work. You know, we do kind of simulator work, so sort of CFD and lots of simulator work to do with aero and design, and we can look at airflows through simulation and things like that rather than actually on a car. You know, we're 3D printing components, we're analysing data, we're, you know, there's quite a few people back at base that are working full time, you know, lots of hours a week to try and find a tenth in a car.
No, I love that. Well, I won't keep you too much more, but I do want to ask you one more question. What is your favourite car movie of all time? One you can just always put on and watch, give you a bit of inspiration before you go racing.
Disney cars.
Disney cars? I love that. That's a good question. Thanks ever so much. You've been fantastic. Cheers, Adam. Well, that was an interesting interview with Adam, wasn't it? I definitely didn't expect him to say his favourite car movie for inspiration was Disney's Cars. That was a bit funny. That was our last interview of the day. Now it's time for me and my Adam to get back to the car and have a chat.
Right, so we just finished our day at Donington and...
Our hands are cold.
My hands are cold. So what did we learn? What do you reckon? What's the verdict? What's the conclusion?
I think I'm in love with Aaron Taylor Smith because I just think he's such a cool guy. I do.
Ollie really loves Aaron. So Aaron, if you're watching...
No, wait.
Ollie's got something for you.
Ollie's got something for you. No, I just love this vibe. Almost just... I don't really care. Let me jump in the car, see what I can do.
Yeah,
I love
think
that.
What I've learnt today is I did actually enjoy seeing the cars, seeing the racing. I think I'm going to watch a couple of races this year. Well, I'm not going to do it with you.
What? Why not? And see, we just spoke to some really lovely Northern lads, and they just basically, what I love about Northern people, they just tell it like it is. I said, what's good about British touring cars? And they went, close to close combat racing, love. And so that's it.
That was a really bad accent.
All right, close to close racing. Oi up, watch them go around to corner.
So, do you think you're going to watch it?
Yeah, I think me and you will watch some and we'll make some content on it. Hopefully we'll go to Silverstone one, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to look out for it on TikTok because I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch this space.
All right, cool.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah. Make sure you get subbed to Car Chat TV and we'll see you on the next one.
Comment down below what you think about British touring cars. And like Adam said, we'll see you on the next one. If you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. I've just popped up 2 more videos on your screen that you also may like. If you do watch one, let me know what you think.